hey guys, James Vanderbeek here. Just want to congratulate Marked Out Wrestling Podcast on their 600th episode.
Hey guys, this is Big Hosto Hossman here. I'm here to congratulate Marked Out Pro Wrestling on 600 episodes. 600! Congratulations, guys. Well, except Bob. He can go fuck himself.
Hi everyone, this is William Hung from American Idol. Congratulations to Marked Out Wrestling Podcast on 600 episodes and reaching over 100,000 downloads. What an accomplishment. The Ascension are the greatest tag team in wrestling. Congrats. And please don't forget to check the tape.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Rody Rob, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
And regardless of what our opening slide said, if you're watching us on the YouTube Live or the Twitch Live or whatever, we are at episode 602 of the motherfucking Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
We're still celebrating.
We are. I do my birthday for an entire week every year. And that's what we're doing. We're gonna do this for the next 4 weeks. We got all the celebrities are coming in and they're sending us their congratulations, and we're just gonna, we got to upload them little by little. So you're gonna see
Greg.
Yeah,
Yeah, he takes a while.
Greg takes
Fucking
a while.
young boy.
He does. But welcome to Marked Out Wrestling Podcast and another edition of Mondays with the Marks. And let me go and introduce to you who the Marks are. And we're gonna start with myself, Rody Rob. And I am joined along with Adam to the Bomb. Adam, say hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Yes, our resident Jew who used to lead the crew.
I still lead the crew.
And also...
I just puppet you from behind.
Yeah, sure. And also from...
What do you do from behind?
From parts from parts unknown.
That's what Brian's interested in.
At a weight of 215 pounds, the bionic one, the biased one, Brian. Brian, say hi.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Ruddy Rob.
Hello, sir.
Adam Bomb.
We miss
Hello,
you, man.
Hey, I miss you guys too. And
Yeah.
Hey, I had no idea that William Hung was an Ascension fan. I mean, who fucking knew, right?
I thought him being a fan
I
of
thought
us.
you were the only one.
Yeah, I thought him being a fan of us was more important. But I mean, Ascension's cool
yeah.
too. I mean, that's definitely for real.
Hey, he had to throw a shout out to somebody.
Right. If you don't know, at this current moment, we are streaming live on YouTube, also on Twitch and other platforms. We do talk to our thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners live on YouTube. Only a few of them we actually converse with. Adam, can you tell me who's on our YouTube live chat board?
Yeah, Perfect 11's here. Hall of Famer Christopher Stikelether's also joining us. And somebody new worth mentioning, the COVID god, Chris Jericho's here. He said that Rhodey looks like a roadie for Limp Bizkit.
I've heard that before. I love his opening chat message here. I becoming the virus in my body. So there you go. That's a little shout out for Jericho.
I didn't want to touch that, so I'm glad you did it.
Your YouTube live chat board is brought to you by markedoutgear.com. Markedoutgear.com. You can go there and get all of our personalized gear from the podcast and our original concept ideas that we just took random shit and turned them into fucking t-shirts. I mean, wrestling related and sometimes not. markedoutgear.com right now. Right now, no promo code needed. That's right. We're fucking crazy. No promo code needed, boys and girls. 20% off everything at markedoutgear.com. Everything. If the fucking Congress is not going to give you a stimulus, we're at least going to cut our prices to help you out during this holiday season, to get you a hoodie or a coffee mug or a T-shirt or a mouse.
It's insane.
A mouse pad with Adam sitting on a footstool. Wacky waving, inflatable, arm flailing fucking tube man. Right there, markedoutgear.com. 20% off your order. No promo code is required at the site at this moment. Okay. So, tonight, Monday with the Marks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, either live or in the podcast. Wherever you're at, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, you follow, you rate, you review, you thumbs up, you hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff.
Ding. All that jazz.
Make sure you share. No matter where you are, make sure you share so you can tell your friends about the Marked Out Wrestling podcast. Tonight, continuing in the Monday with the Marks themes, here is the tease. And the tease tonight is we're going to have the conversation. We're going to talk about 5 weaknesses of AEW that WWE must capitalize on. A great article from Forbes. We're going to run through that. We're going to have the dirt sheets with Adam tonight. Adam's going to take the dirt sheets reign. Just for fun, we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Not necessarily who, but what is the Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Brian is in charge of the game tonight.
This is a fun one.
We're going to do some theme song trivia with you again. That we're going to do? Yeah?
I don't know why you said again. I don't think I've done it before. I kind of stole your gimmick,
last week.
You know, you brought it up before we recorded, and I didn't realize it was your thing. I thought it was like a DDT, like anyone can do it.
I don't have a patent on it. I'm just bringing up that we did it last week.
Yeah, so real quick, full kayfabe, we kind of have a chore wheel thing going on. That's why I'm doing dirt sheets tonight. Brian's got the game. We kind of rotate. Rob's got the week off, and then he'll come back into play next week.
Right. Yeah. So that's the game, and then we'll have the close, and then you'll see us again on Wednesday when we do our – That's the end of the show. We call that the close.
With an
literally the close.
Yeah, the close.
Okay.
And then we'll come back Wednesday with our Who on Wednesday show. So, with all that said,
way to promote the Wednesday show.
What's that?
I said, way to promote the Wednesday show there as an afterthought.
Well, no, I'm going to do it again later tonight. I just wanted to make sure we put it in now as a nugget and then reintroduce it later, as I do with our other sponsors that we have, like PhoenixFit.com, where you can put up Marked Out 15 and get 15% off your order at PhoenixFit.com for all your supplemental needs.
It's actually just marked out.
Oh, it's just marked out.
Just marked out, but you get 15% off.
Oh, thank you for the correction, Brian. Yeah. I truly do appreciate that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's jump into our first topic tonight. It's going to be the conversation.
Oh.
This is pretty cool. I like this. And
open skate.
Oh, it is.
Open swim.
Do it right now. It's damn it. I usually do this pretty well. When I used to DJ, I used to actually go, couple skate only. It is now all skate. It's all skate.
Oh, all skate.
Not open skate.
I thought maybe it was free skate.
I mean, you could do that, but that would imply that everybody's paying. So
Adult Swim?
Adult Swim. Okay.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It doesn't matter.
That's no
It's
different.
It's a Mandalorian stuff.
Oh, is it really?
No, it's not.
Oh.
So I want to talk about the conversation tonight. And so Forbes did an article. And Forbes, every once in a while they come out with some nuggets of articles about wrestling. My inside source to the professional wrestling track, which, isn't that great so much anymore, but did tell me.
You have a source?
I do. And did tell me that, certain sites are reliable for.
Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Are reliable for information as far as dirt sheets. So Sports Illustrated, if you see a dirt sheet on Sports Illustrated, usually it's on point. Forbes is another one that's usually pretty good about opinion.
CBS is about 80%, right?
CBS is pretty good, too. Most other places, ringside seats, absolute garbage.
What CBS says is coming up for a pay-per-view. Those matches always happen, but they get the stipulations wrong sometimes and when they happen.
So
Pro Wrestling Sheet is pretty good. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought we're still doing it.
No, you're good.
It's the conversation, Brian.
Yeah,
you're all right.
I didn't want to cut you off if you were getting your mojo.
We're having a conversation, Brian.
The shows have been good because he's been really friendly about cutoffs.
Yeah, when we're not doing the fucking rundown of Raw, I feel less stressed. I feel open to have more conversation. I don't care about Adam cutting me off because I'm not trying to make a point. I'm just talking now. Exactly. So so I'm going to lay down the 5 different weaknesses that so basically what Forbes is saying is AEW came out of the gate, right?
Pay attention, Brian.
As an infant program is what they called it. And they said that, they came out with all this expectation and they didn't necessarily deliver on it. And as a matter of fact, they kind of went opposite to it. They kind of failed in a bunch of places. And where we have been talking about on this show, guys, about
being
how
very critical.
Very well, but we also made comments before that AEW, while the striking is hot, should go at the jugular of WWE. And I do still stand by at the point when we said that was a correct summation, that they should go for them. But as they didn't,
they've taken shots and promos and stuff.
Yeah, that's not the same. That's not the same. I'm saying counter program them Mondays. Go right at them.
Is that what you mean by going for the jugular?
Right.
Like that would be
okay. Go right out them because WWE is struggling.
Especially Monday Night Raw ratings keep dipping.
And if we had one of those graphs where you show like a polls, a Republican, a Democrat poll, and it shows the kind of the graph of how they go up and down against each other, it would show AEW really high, WWE really low, and now AEW's dipping and WWE's rising, right? Not saying WWE's like fucking, they've corrected all their issues, but there's definitely things that we can criticize more about AEW and say WWE's done better lately on. And here's some things that they point out that they've fallen short on. We're going to go one by one on them.
All right.
But just to outline, number 1 is confusion about heels and baby faces. 2, corny gimmicks galore. The women's division, lack of star power, over-reliance on WWE stars, and the overabundance of stables, right? So let's start with number 1 here. Confusion about heels and baby faces. And what
Brian.
Yeah. This is a big hey, Brian.
I mean, they made the segment for us.
Right. And what the article points out is that where WWE, one thing that they've always done well, even when they haven't done everything else well, which has been most of this decade, is they have a very solid line, Brian, between the heels and the faces. Do you disagree with that?
No, I do not. No, that is absolutely true. In fact, WWE, I feel like they go over the line to make sure that it's like drilled into your brain that this person is heel, this person is face. On the flip side, I agree. I think AEW does blur the lines, and maybe to a fault. I mean, I'll even say like something like with the Bucks, what they're doing recently,
right?
And how like they were seemed like they were going on the heel path with FTR. Now all of a sudden they're defending what's his nuts.
And same thing with Raw tonight. It felt like all of a sudden we have Fiend going back to heelish, and Randy's kind of the face, and AJ's kind of the face.
Fiend's never left heel. What are you talking about? Fiend's always been a heel. Yeah, you don't know.
You know what I'm saying.
No, I know. I know what you said, and what you said is wrong.
Wait, you guys watch Raw?
I think he was booked as the face when he was fighting Roman.
We still watch, Brian. Well, I mean, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this stands the reason of the point. Sometimes they're jumping heel or face based on a feud, Rob, and not based on the character at all. And I feel like that's what the Bucks did. Well, they were the heels to FTR, but FTR was also heels, so now they're face.
Okay, you're countering the argument here, and I don't think your counter is correct. I don't think Fiend was ever a face.
I'm not countering the argument. I'm saying that for purposes of a feud at times, they make him the face, the de facto face, so that they can have a heel face.
I disagree.
Or vice versa. They've done with other
Stop rambling. Just make a point and move on. Make a point and let us jump in there. No, Fiend has never – when has Fiend flipped? Fiend has been a heel, period. End of story. He's a heel. He's always been a heel. When has he been a face?
No, wasn't it like a month or two ago? He did something that was very face-like.
Yes, when he was going against Roman and being attacked there, and the way that's what I was saying. He was booked as the face there in the Roman feud.
Yeah, heels can have moments of weaknesses.
Right, that was situational.
Yeah, you can have a moment of weakness.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying is so bad. Situationally, that's bad to flip-flop for a feud. And then go back to whatever.
Again, he didn't flip-flop for a feud.
Not necessarily character, but the way they booked him was as a face.
No, they did not book him as a face. He's never been booked as a face. Fiend has never been booked as a face. I will argue that till the day I die. Fiend has never been booked as a face. Can you book a heel as
Fiend was a face when Seth Rollins was accidentally a heel, Will Wagner's saying, so that's twice.
Can you book a heel as a sympathetic character, you can. Just like in some movies, I watched Amazon.
Joker.
Okay, God damn it. Amazon has a show called I forgot the name. It's about the Nazis and time travel and Man in the High Tower, right? And they have. I know you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, but so in the series, they have a guy who's basically the storyline is that Nazis won the war and Japan won the war and they occupied America, right? And the main antagonist in this movie is a former U.S. soldier turned Nazi and basically the top Nazi in the in the show, right?
Mm.
And you watch his ascension and his climb to power through the
Ascension?
Yes, exactly. But the point I'm making is during this series, he is clearly the heel in this series, but there are points of sympathy where you can have a bit of empathy with what he's going through. You can actually feel bad for him, still knowing that he is a horrible, horrible fucking person in what he's doing.
Kind of like Mankind. Mankind was a sympathetic heel.
He was a sympathetic heel. So that's very possible. It's very easy to do that and still keep them a heel. Fiend has always been a dark character and a heel. He has never presented himself as a friend to the audience, as the protagonist in the story, even if he is being, brutalized.
The COVID God on the board has a good point here. You can be a heel and have a good guy tendencies or be the default face when facing another heel. Vince was the default face in his feud with Triple H in '99. So that's where Fiend has come up a couple times as a default face. Okay. But I think when they force you into a role, you don't really ever have a heel story. It's always somebody becomes the default face.
Yeah.
I wrestled a heel match.
I really
I
really think you're pulling far away from the topic here.
And Will says, if you're looking for Fiend's weakness, just call Goldberg.
Okay, this is not a conversation about the Fiend. Okay, let me pull this back into the fucking conversation.
I know it's not.
And
I was using that as an example.
Well, you took it as an entire topic. So let's just get back into it. And the difference between WWE, my initial point is for the most part, 99% of the time, they are very defined on heels and faces, right?
For the most part.
AEW is very much not. I mean, you look at Archer right now. You look at Pac right now, or Pac, whatever.
Yeah, Archer is a tweener. I mean, last week he attacks Kingston and all them.
But he's in no way a tweener. Like Austin.
That's what Stike's saying. I disagree. But did he go face last week?
Well, and that's the point. The point of this first topic is, Austin, you could say, was a tweener. Austin could be a friendly antagonist, right? He can switch back and forth between fan love and fan hate. Archer was built as a heel. He's always been a heel. His character is he oozes heel.
The way Jake talks for him is heel.
Everything about him is heel. Yeah. But now you thrust him into a face situation, but he's still not oozing face. He's still oozing heel as a face. So and here's my thing, Brian, is I think there's some formulas are tried and true in television. Right? Heels and faces. Bad guy, good guy. Right? These are tried and true. And the reason why is, yes, every once in a while, if you take a heel, you make him sympathetic, it can be a good storytelling. Like with the Fiend. Right? You make him sympathetic, good storytelling. But they're always a heel. Sure. If you blur that line 95% of the time, then as a watcher, as an audience member, I can become confused and eventually become disengaged because I can't follow what's going on with the story.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And specifically with AEW, I do think I think it's okay to blur the lines a little bit, but I think at some point you do have to go one way or the other. You can't just keep being, a tweener, if you will. You can't keep doing that all
Kenny
all
Omega
the time.
right now. He's a perfect example. He's going full heel against Mox in his promos and stuff, but his actions leading up to his switch, he was face when he was a tag champ, full face.
Oh yeah.
Now he's transitioning. He didn't really have he had a slow progression to the dark side. He should have had that coming out moment of I'm a heel. This is for sure. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm becoming the cleaner, the heel, everything that you wanted. But he hasn't, because I feel like after he beats Mox, he's going to be the face again.
Well,
No.
I think Kenny Omega is I think it's a little different with Kenny Omega. I think he's doing a long game to a full heel. I think he's gone face and he's taken a slow road to a full heel.
It's definitely a slow road.
I mean, no, it's not really. I mean, it's been 4 weeks, right?
It's been
Longer than that.
Longer than that.
Since he's kind of started showing the tendencies.
Yeah, with him and Hangman.
Yeah. As soon as they lost the belt, he started showing it.
Okay, I think his ascension to there you go once again, Brian.
Ascension.
His ascension.
Word of the week. We should have that.
Word of the week. We've done that before. His ascension to full heel, I think, is going to be getting the belt. I think that's when he's full heel. So beyond getting into specific storylines here and
because
discussing,
he cheats to win, is what you're saying or suggesting,
or because he just his demeanor switches completely, that he is above all. And a heel is above all. A bad guy is above all.
Like Jericho was.
Like Trump, a fucking narcissist that the world revolves around. That is a heel, right?
Like Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Heel.
That's a cock, right? That's a
Full-blown
complete
heel.
If I was in England, I'd call him a cunt, right? So
He has Nia Jax heat times 12.
yes.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about her.
He really does. So, all right. So we've established the first topic here. Anything on the board real quick about heels and faces?
Kenny Omega is the head cheerleader, Mean Girl. That's what he is right now, is what Will says. You can't tell what Kenny Omega is because even when he's supposed to be a face, he comes across as a douchebag. That's from COVID God. Yeah. And Stike says, or even look at Kenny Omega. He's blurring the lines recently with some of his heel tendencies. Blurring the lines, I completely agree, but I don't feel that he's gone full. Maybe you're right. I think he's just in this role because Mox is the face.
Okay,
but you're right about the whole AEW needs to get their shit together and pick a side.
Right, pick a side. All right, so there's our first kind of topic on these five from the Forbes article, and it's a great read, by the way. I advise you to check it out. Excuse me. The number two was corny gimmicks galore was the topic of their second thing that WWE should take advantage of. Now, thank you.
Better late than never.
So this is an interesting discussion because we have given a lot of shit to WWE about gimmicks. And I don't know if the shit we've given them is more about overuse of gimmicks and not necessarily corny gimmicks. Because I'm sitting here, I was racking my brain trying to think of the cornier gimmicks that WWE has given us. And honestly, I could not come up with too many.
You just had Gobbledygooker show back up at Survivor Series.
So
I don't think that's. You mean from like the current era?
I don't think that's the point. I don't think Gobbledygookers.
I know that's not the point. But you're saying like if there was a full-time wrestler out there that was of some gimmick like that.
Well, yeah. So like
Luchasaurus,
right? Or even to expand on the bunny or the butcher and the blade.
What?
Well, I mean, you've got to consider that. The gimmick they've imposed on these characters, there's no storytelling to their gimmick.
No, but that I wouldn't. Luchasaurus is definitely one.
Jungle Boy is another one.
Jungle Boy is just the. I mean, I think Jungle Boy and Butcher and the Blade. You're
the video games at Mira.
That one's. I mean, they're trying to cater to Twitch. I mean, I think all of these have it. I think Darby, his Dark Burn It Down, whatever he's doing there.
CKY, Bam Margera stuff.
Yeah, the whole thing he's doing is just very confusing. I agree with that. And the Luchasaurus, I think some of the other ones that they're talking about is.
So let me do this. Let me read to you how Forbes describes this. Okay. It says AEW has a wide array of gimmicks, which are performed by very talented superstars, but aren't exactly clicking with pro wrestling fans, in their opinion. The list of over-the-top characters in AEW reads a mile long and includes, in their words, boring stables like the recently disbanded Nightmare Collective, the Dark Order, rarely seen performers such as the Librarian, popular ones such as Lucha Express or the Alien Chris Statlander, and nonsensical ones like the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. Pro wrestling fans know that they're going to have to suspend their disbelief to some extent every time they watch a wrestling show, which is true. We know that. But AEW has taken that expectation to the next level with its reliance on a slew of gimmicks that come across as corny, if not downright substandard.
Nyla would fall.
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Those types of characters have worked more consistently in the 80s and 90s, but today, not so much. Of course, there are some sections to the rule, like Luchasaurus and Orange Cassidy, whose gimmicks are totally ridiculous, but have strong connection with AEW fan base, and it carries on. And it compares that, Bray Wyatt has been a little corny, but a good story, right? And I think that's the difference here. The difference that we should take away is, yes, both brands have the kind of corny, nonsensical gimmicks, but what WWE does is they tell the story of their gimmicks a little bit more. We knew Bray Wyatt's backstory. They made that a point to share it with us. We know Fiend's backstory. They made that a point to share with us. But we don't know the backstory of a lot of these AEW
I don't know how
gimmicks.
Luchasaurus came to be.
He's 65 million years old.
Okay.
In his intro.
Yeah, I mean, and he went to college.
But there's no expansion or depth.
To Rob's point, a lot of the depth is given to the real life people and not the gimmicks. Like, for instance, just recently Top Flight, the program they put behind him, showing, where they came from and things like that, and showing how they rise. There's a lot of those, but they're never the gimmick characters.
So
you know what I'm saying? When they have those introductions to the character, it's never. It's never it's weird.
So in the context of this story, Brian, from Forbes, I think what they're saying here, and what they're saying is things WWE should capitalize on that AEW is failing on. And what I think they mean by that is, if you look at the late 90s when WCW kind of took charge, they took charge because they came with a reality-based roster versus the tried and true WWE 80s into 90s cartoon era roster. And what AEW is doing right now is saying, we're going to give you that cartoon era roster again. Act like it's big boys. Act like it's real. It's reality based with cartoonish characters. WWE now has the opportunity to play the real card and attack.
Yeah, but I still feel like, as much as, I don't know, you're framing it almost sounding like WWE doesn't do this at all. Because, let's be honest, they definitely have over-the-top gimmicks.
Remember, the thing of the article is what WWE should capitalize on that AEW is missing out on. It's not saying that WWE is not just as guilty. It's saying here's their chance.
Right.
To try to not be as guilty.
That's a good point. I also think that things are weird, though, too. Like, I think because of, without having audiences and stuff there, like, AEW has silly wrestlers. Like, they definitely have a lot more over the top characters than WWE. I'll admit that. But I think, like, with the crowd there, the crowd is able to connect with them, and who gives a shit if it's like silly or whatever? If the crowd is going nuts.
Well, see, this is where I disagree with you, man. And this is where I got to go back to, and I'm sorry
talking about like Santino and the Snake.
Well,
the crowd went nuts for that, and that was stupid as fuck.
The Worm.
But it was a continuing character.
Oh yeah.
This
Too
is where
Cool was terrible.
I've said this many times about AEW. And the fact that they stick to the paint-by-numbers formula of bingo hall wrestling. And I don't say that to be disrespectful, just as a reference guide.
Well, it sounds disrespectful.
Well, I don't care. Fucking wipe your tears. Fucking cry it away. I'll drink your Mark tears. But AEW has this formula, and I think it's because their EVPs, for the most part, are bound in that world. They're born and they've been raised in that world, where you don't need to give depth to a character. You can show up at an indie show dressed as a fucking T-Rex for one match, and the crowd will go crazy because there's a guy wrestling in a T-Rex suit. They don't have to watch you every week and explore what your gimmick is, right? They don't need to connect to it. It's a one-time fucking attraction, right? It's like a roller coaster. It's fun the first time. Every week, though, not so much.
You got to give me some substance.
So that's kind of, and that's the fault. And again, when I say some EVPs for AEW, I'm specifically talking about the Young Bucks.
Oh my!
And I'm sorry, I'm telling you, I think that their voices are very strong in the creative direction of AEW, and I think that is a huge downfall for them, because they can sell T-shirts. They can be flippy. They can do synchronized swimming. But when it comes to producing a weekly wrestling show with storylines and character development, they are horrible.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That's my opinion, Brian. It's my opinion.
Well, and I mean, I don't know about the Bucks there. I think Tony and them are all infants when it comes to doing this right now, and they're just not there overall.
That word is literally referenced in there, infantile stages. You know?
Well, Tony's been booking since he was 10, so he has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he used to do like video games and like fantasy booking and shit.
And Trump didn't inherit his wealth.
So, but I think the gimmick. I think both the first two heels and baby faces gimmick galore. I think are great points with good debates, Brian. I mean, on both sides. I mean, there's definitely AEW fans that would fucking no, fuck you, and that's cool. We can have that conversation. You can hate me for saying that I think this article is hitting some nails on the head. Yeah.
Before we move on the board, Stike says, as Bischoff put it in WWE, or put it back, WWE was using fake names while WCW was using their real names. Mm-hmm. That was a point of contention. COVID God says AEW is corny to me in the sense that it's too self-aware, tongue-in-cheek, which gets old, while WWE comes across more cringeworthy and forced. I mean, and that's what this article is saying. There's a market here to capitalize on. Who's going to do it? I mean, it's targeted against AEW and to WWE, but really, this is what you could do. This is what we were talking about a little bit with Uncle Eric last week.
You know what it really feels like? It really feels like we got two parties right now. We got the AEW party and WWE party, and probably the better choice, but doesn't have the commercial power to really compete, would be like Impact. I mean, perhaps I don't watch Impact enough to know.
Well,
so how can you say that?
I'm guessing. I'm throwing that out there as a thought experiment.
And the cinematic.
You sound like you would. Did you vote for Kanye?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Also on the board from COVID God, the cinematic matches are also a factor with corny shit in wrestling today. Some of those have been good. Some of it has been overdone.
Yeah. There have been some corny. Those have been fun for the most part. I am not upset about the cinematic matches. I think anybody who's bitching about the cinematic matches, I think you got to pull the stick out of your ass. And enjoy something different, especially in a time right now that we're going through.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. Anyway.
Okay, so
you ready?
Yeah, number three.
I was ready.
Number 3 is
easy target.
Number 3 is an easy fucking target.
Bang bang.
It is a huge fucking bullseye. The WWE honestly is already fucking capitalizing on, and that is the women's division.
Ninja, please.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's really not much conversation that we need to have that we haven't already had here.
That we haven't already had, basically.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done this ad nauseum.
Yeah. We have kissed the ass of the NXT women's division nonstop on this show. I will just add in that the main roster women's division has improved, I believe, from where it had sunken to.
But you know why, right?
Why?
Well, we have 3 big absences from the time where there wasn't good. Charlotte.
Yeah. Ronda.
Becky.
And Becky.
Right.
Those 3 absences have opened the door for a lot. And while Asuka's carried the torch, they have done a good job of developing, or a better job of developing everyone else down on that roster. Now, some of them, like Mandy Rose, unfortunate, injury there, but Peyton's been getting some love. You've done a lot more that usually was just all about. I mean, for a fucking year, it was Charlotte, Becky, Ronda. Charlotte, Becky, Ronda. I
even like the way that they're doing Shayna Baszler right now. At first, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. At first, I didn't. At first, I was like, come on. She's a fucking brute. What are you doing? But she's playing the role, this kind of corny, frenemy role with Nia. I actually think has been pretty entertaining, and she's been working it well. It's given some more depth to her character.
It's better than her challenging for the title and losing.
I agree with that.
No, I'd rather her challenge for the title and win.
Right,
she can carry that division.
But you got to get there, and I think this is going to build. This will build Vince's confidence, or somebody's in her by what she's doing here. And like Rob and I talk about all the time on Wednesdays, we're suddenly caring about her again.
All right, let me throw out 3 names that if they were to be added to the AEW side in the women's division, right? Because you already said it. We all agreed that NXT is
but AEW, the board is even saying.
Let him get his names in.
Okay.
Whoa, what's the board saying? What
No. I want to hear.
They're talking about the NWA women's division being what AEW.
Let
women's
All right,
Brian
so
yours in there.
one, Zelina Vega.
Yes.
Okay,
100%,
what about
yeah.
her? If she goes to AEW,
Huge upgrade.
right? Huge upgrade. I don't know if it's going to happen.
As a female performer, it depends on if they worked her as a wrestler, if they worked her as a valet or a spokeswoman.
Yeah. Tessa Blanchard, she's still out there, and
Huge.
her fucking her
huge.
daddy is working over there.
Yeah, huge.
Right, that's another one.
There's
and
two.
Chris Statlander, I mean, she's already with the company. She's just hurt, so she'll come back.
But was she really doing it? Was she really
Not
elevating
yet,
that division?
Not yet, but she had the following. I don't know how she'll do without the audience there. She could be another one that'll suffer without the audience.
I don't
being
know. Look, and I like your suggestions, Brian. I do. You're two anyway. Your third one's already there, so it's really not a
Well,
suggestion.
yeah.
I don't think the problem is what talent they have. The problem is that they're not showing us the talent. The problem is that they give us one women's segment.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Those three women you named, Brian, only two of them could they even book on TV each week. Rob and I, again, have hit this home all the time on Wednesdays. NXT does a really good job of focusing on a division for a week. They may tell other stories and have other people cut promos and do everything else, but they focus on that division. That's how you build a division. There's 7, 8, 9 women on a 2-hour NXT show, and there's 2 women, not counting valets or anybody that comes out for a segment. There's 2 that get to wrestle. And lately, Brian, one of them, or maybe both, aren't even on the roster. That's even sadder. I mean,
more sad.
We're over here asking for. We want some more Swole. We want some more Red Velvet. They've made us interested in characters like Britt Baker and stuff like that. But where are they, Brian?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
I want to point out.
You said Red Velvet.
Oh, did he what? I'm sorry. What did you just say there, Brian?
No, Adam said Red Velvet.
Look, hey, so I want to point out to everybody listening right now, and in case you haven't listened for all 600 of our episodes or 100,000 downloads,
go back.
Check the tape. That Adam, especially, but me and Brian can be somewhat guilty of it too, have had most of our experience with the women's divisions as not so favorable. Like, oh God, here comes a women's match. Oh God, Jesus, and that's mainly like Bella's and fucking Natty and shit.
Yeah.
The ones who've stayed too long.
But here you are right now, and this is a testament to WWE and NXT more so, I think. Here you are now. You have 3 guys who at one point, some more than others, were down on women's wrestling, who are now saying, actually, I want that the women's divisions, the women's talent, the women's wrestlers have shown themselves to be almost fuck all more entertaining than the men's have. We're begging WWE or AEW right now, rather. We're begging you to give us more of the women because guess what? They're better.
Or some
I'm
true
sorry.
intergender. Like, I'm sorry, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Johnny Gargano, and Candice LeRae. That was a fun little match. A lot of good exchanges, and it wasn't just the girl tags, so we've got to switch. It wasn't those kind of matches.
Yeah. And we're not talking about bras and panties. We're talking about women that can get in there. They can create a character.
Yeah, I don't want bras.
I
and
think
panties.
they're better at creating characters. I think they're better in the ring. I think they're more fun as an overall segment.
And there's so much talent.
Yeah, the guys to me now, guys wrestling now. I'm sorry, guys wrestling now to me seems kind of bland in comparison to what the women bring weekly on all programs. Unfortunately, AEW doesn't give us but 5 to 10 minutes of the women every week. So, topic 3 is that,
It is exhausting. And we've covered it.
Yeah, it
3.
Number 4.
Oh, number 4.
4.
So, this is a good one, too. Lack of star power and over-reliance on former WWE stars. So, let me open this, and then I'm going to throw it to you, all right?
We know the list.
Okay, so we can go through the list of WWE stars that AEW is touting, right? And WWE can say, hey, we made them.
Yeah.
We made them big.
Mox and Jericho for certain.
You put them on TV. So what? Fucking, you could say, what's her fucking face from Friends? Jennifer Aniston.
Phoebe?
Yeah, right.
Monica.
Jennifer Aniston, huge movie star, right? The producers from Friends can go, yeah, but we made her big.
Oh yeah, she did other stuff.
Right.
The Leprechaun. Nobody, and she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, the TV show.
Yeah, nobody.
The TV show.
There was a TV show.
She might have been in the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street series. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, she wasn't.
She's the daughter of the villain on Days of Our Lives.
There you go.
Kayfabe.
There you go. But Friends, they made her. So the problem here is, in my opinion, is yes, you're focusing on these WWE stars, but more specifically, you're focusing on your EVPs, on your Bucks and your Kenny Omegas and your Cody Rhodes, especially Cody Rhodes, and then you throw in the mix WWE stars. So you are not producing your own stars. So WWE
Brody Lee was a champ.
Yeah, WWE can come out and say, yeah, put them all on TV if you want to. We had them already. We made them big. You like them because they were with us. Now let me show you our next big stars. WWE's going and AEW's going, well, but yeah, look, here's the mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving. We still got some left. Why don't you eat some of this still? And they're like, no, we've already made steaks this week.
And I go back to this. I know I've said it, check the tape, but TNA found a perfect balance when they originally just brought on Jeff Hardy and Christian Cage. And then after they got some name ID, they brought in Kurt Angle and Sting. It went to shit shortly after that when they signed a bunch of old fuckers that had no business still being on TV. But
when Hogan came in.
Yeah, and Bischoff and Steiner and Booker and all them. But they had a formula. They built guys like AJ Styles so that you knew him. Samoa Joe. They built teams like Motor City Machine Guns, AMW, and what was Beer Money. So they did a lot with their stuff. Jarrett did not book himself to death in fucking title hunt after title hunt after title hunt in the EVP. He got himself his, did the dick angle for a little while, and then moved on. They even booked R-Truth to be a champ. Ron Killings was a champ there. They did stuff with the VKM that was shots fired. They had a lot of stuff. Taz on commentary was great. They picked up some of the guys like Mike Tenay and whatever. They had a foothold because they were building their own stars and weren't relying on that. And they took a guy like Christian Cage and Jeff Hardy, who hadn't been put over yet, and put them over. I mean, they did a lot of really good stuff. And AEW's not doing that.
Yeah.
They have a chance with Lance Archer, with other guys. But we're seeing the EVPs booked, or we're seeing WWE guys booked.
Let me argue with Perfect 11 on the board. He's saying, I'd argue those are the main draws, though. When WCW blew up, they did the same thing. They used known stars to get eyes on a product. I disagree with that. Yes,
they did.
No, I'm going to disagree. Yeah, Hall and Nash came in. They were established from WWE. Absolutely right. Hogan came in, established from WWE. Savage came in, established from WWE. And then they blended in there fucking Hitman and Roddy and Warrior and all those people, too. But WCW had its own strong batch of stars that were WCW born,
Sting, Booker,
bred and made. Sting, Booker, Arn, Flair. I mean, you can go down even if you want to go as corny as Buff Bagwell and Disco Inferno. I mean, WCW had
Disco.
Look, who doesn't love
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And don't forget, people like the Radicals started there. Stuff like that.
You could.
Jericho
ECW
was born.
That.
Jericho was born of WCW.
More exposed.
Yeah, Jericho.
ECW. He cut his teeth in ECW.
He cut his teeth, but he wasn't a known commodity until WCW. He wasn't worth the money for WWE to say, let's get this guy as a big sign. If it wasn't for WCW.
No, because at the time he was too small. WWE wasn't interested in guys that were his size. That's why WCW signed him, because he could add to their cruiserweight division.
But that's to my point, is that he was created there. So as 11 is saying on the board,
Goldberg. We're forgetting about Goldberg.
No, Goldberg, absolutely. So 11 is saying on the board, WCW did it with WWE stars. No, they did not. They definitely enhanced it. They added some flavor to their fucking meal by bringing in these big names.
Bret Hart did nothing for them when they
brought him in.
Bret
Hart did nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. So I just disagree with that. I think there was plenty of big names.
Shockmaster, that moved the needle.
Shockmaster was huge. So lack of stars. So that's my thing, is there's plenty of talent on the roster in AEW, Brian, that they could be elevating. But
I mean, they already are. I mean, you already named Jericho. We've already talked about it. How many times? I mean, fucking Orange Cassidy beat him twice over the summer.
Okay.
He's constantly putting people over. I do feel like AEW has a good blend of older stars and young, guys and girls that are coming up that are from the indies.
We're not talking about the roster.
And I think they're too quickly putting people over.
But I think the difference between them and WWE now is WWE, like you said, like now they want to create their own people so that they can control them.
Look, here's what it is, and this is where I'm on WWE's side. Is AEW is a participation trophy era wrestling, and WWE is still we give out the trophies to the winners. And what I mean by that is AEW is so quick. All the veterans there are so quick. I got to put this guy over. I got to put this guy over. We got to put these guys over. We're not going to let them build. We're not going to let them, create their personality. We're not going to let them earn their way to the top. We're going to put them over. Jericho, I'm going to put over Orange Cassidy. He's great. But, I mean, let's be real. If you watched wrestling back in the day, the formula of wrestling, Orange Cassidy's not getting over on Jericho like that. I'm not saying I hated it. I'm just saying as a concept.
The boards got me laughing.
Go ahead.
COVID God Chris Jericho saying, I put Cassidy over twice, and now he's feuding over video games with Miro. I mean, you want to talk about elevating him.
You know what?
Did he put him over? Because he should have been the one with the TNT title, not Darby, if you really want to say he elevated him.
I'm going to give him this.
This is a Butcher, and I'm a little blown up, but you did okay.
Do you guys know who had the number one selling shirt in AEW this year?
Go ahead. Who had the shirt championship?
Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
So somebody's
the shirt sales equal long-term success?
No, but it is a T-shirt company, so it.
Oh,
I'm sure
Sorry,
Fandango.
Brian, I couldn't resist.
I'm sure Fandango had a good little run with T-shirts or Trinity.
He had shitty merch, bro.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to make the point. If I pick the wrong one to make the point, forgive me. But I'm saying you can be hot and sell T-shirts. But does that mean longevity for the future of the company, for creating stars and building them for the future of the company? Yeah.
So real quickly on the board, WWE does a way worse job pushing people, Rob. That's from Paragon. Will Wagner says, right now they're not pushing Miro. He'd be considered one of the worst bookings in the company if he was pushed to the moon, but he's a jokey joke maker now, not a Russian tank rider. And short answer to your video title from DP, no, they aren't, and they can't. They also shouldn't. They should be forming their own identity instead of all the subliminal overt shots at WWE. That's what we're saying. There is a vacuum. This whole topic is about there is a vacuum that should be filled, and it's existing out there. And my point about TNA was they filled that vacuum for a little while and made some waves.
But then they went overboard, right?
Right,
And
they went overboard.
Like,
so
main event
AEW
Mafia all the fucking time,
and Immortal and Fortune and all that crazy ass bullshit. And then they tried to save it with aces and eights, but it was too far gone. The point being is that AEW has an opportunity to capitalize on that vacuum. They've got their audience. Now they need to ramp it up. They need to get their audience, like we need to get our audience, to talk to other people and get them involved and get more people to watch their product. They're not quite there yet, Brian. I'm not. By the way, we are not. Just to be clear, because some of these comments on the board, we are not defending WWE in any sense of the word. Again, we're talking about there's a vacuum out there, and somebody could come and fill it.
And look, I'm not going to disagree that WWE has failed when it comes to pushing certain talent that they probably should have pushed. But to say that they don't push characters, I think is incorrect as a whole. I mean, you can look at the current state of the roster on WWE and see that they have pushed certain individuals. Drew, they've pushed him. They finally got it right and pushed Bobby Lashley the right way. Cedric is getting a little push here in the faction. I mean, you can say there's flaw.
They revived Shelton and MVP to something of worth.
There's definitely
retribution.
Yeah,
oh, that's a dog fart.
They pushed the Profits. Think what you want about that. But to say that they don't push people with success, I think is incorrect. To say that they've missed the mark on pushing certain people, I think would be a more correct statement for WWE.
WWE has the same booking issues. That's why I'm going to go back to the vacuum. Somebody could fill it if they do it right.
Okay. All right. And number 5.
5.
The overabundance of stables. Now, this is where I have to eat a little crow.
Yeah, because you always was.
Because I have said in the past about WWE, oh man, I wish there were more stables. I wish there were more stables. I wish there were more stables. And then AEW comes out and they're like, hey, guess what? Here's a stable for you, and a stable for you, and a stable for you, and a stable for you. And the stables are falling flat.
That's your opinion.
No, well, it is my opinion.
That's your opinion. However, I will say this is this is definitely a lot more like New Japan style. Like there's a lot of factions.
Okay.
And stables in New Japan, and that's where a lot of these guys are coming from, and that's where they're booking. That's, I guess, where their influence is.
Yeah, but many have gone nowhere. Like Team Taz, you've gone nowhere as it is? You added Powerhouse Hobbs with a renamed WWE style.
The family.
Inner Circle was going against the Elite, but they didn't really pull the trigger because COVID happened and Blood and Guts got canceled, so that's just hanging out there.
The Elite, the Nightmare Collective.
Yeah,
you know what?
Nightmare Collective's already disbanded. The family's already breaking back up into Death Triangle.
Dark Order is now what? Nothing?
Yeah, Dark Order's without their leader after.
What?
I mean, there's a lot that's very
Get
weird.
The fuck
Look,
out
okay,
here.
wait. Let me break this down, Adam.
They've
Hold on.
never had the
okay.
true what we should have had, like Ministry,
All right, don't let me-
DX,
don't let me
if you
miss this.
corporate. If you want to have a
Oh
good
my
one.
God, you will not. Once you get on a sentence, you
I
won't
can't
stop.
finish the sentence.
No, you can't because I want to interject on a certain point of the sentence, and then you can continue with your rant.
Okay.
Certain point of the sentence is, as we were talking about Dark Order. See, God damn it, Adam. So if you look at the building of their stable, first they added in what's his fucking face? Jewish guy. Help me out.
MJF?
No, dude.
Adam.
Dark Order, dude. Pay attention.
Oh, Colt Cabana.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The other
okay.
one.
Colt Cabana. That was a good storyline. I was enjoying that. Where's that gone? Haven't seen that at all, right?
Yeah, he's just in the background now to Silver.
Right. You bring in Brody, Brody's an abusive cult leader, and he's beating up on the other. I'm losing all my names tonight.
5 and 6.
Yeah, he's
Alex Reynolds.
No, who's the other leader? The de facto leader when he's not around.
Evil Uno.
Uno. Right. He would kind of abuse him. That whole storyline has gone to the wayside. Now we got the little mini guy running it, and
Brody's hurt.
It's fine. No, that's fine. But it's still, the point is they could have continued some of these storylines, but instead they've kind of fallen into obscurity. The family with the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and Blade and fucking what's his face. They were doing their thing, but they lasted like 2-3 weeks, and they're already fucking disbanded and fighting each other. With Pac, I'm saying what I'm pointing out here, Brian, is that the article is correct. You created a bunch of factions. I mean, you think about the women, the Nightmare Collective,
Sisters or whatever the hell they were.
Whatever that fucking was. That lasted no time.
Yeah, Bunny went there and then back. It was like,
Is Brandy and Red Velvet? Do they have a tag team name?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just saying that there's no substance, there's no depth to any of these factions, and when they do try to give them some, they immediately break them up, or something goes awry, or something almost immediately.
Yeah, the biggest stars in Dark Order right now are John Silver and Anna Jay. That's the only relevance that Dark Order, how much time they've spent into that. We don't even get some fun vignettes anymore. Brody, while he's hurt, he can't cut anything. I mean, there's a lot of things that have floundered. The family out the gate has floundered.
SCU
That's
is like
flounder. I don't know how you're saying that
That's just
floundered.
a
The
tag
whole
team.
reason was to set up
faction.
Pac's return.
it's a 3-person faction.
It's a Freebird faction.
Okay, it's still a faction though.
I don't know. I don't know if you can count that like that.
Really?
I don't know. They all came in together.
You don't know.
I guess they didn't form like the others. I guess it's.
As Dana Price agrees with me here, which is a rarity, so it must be true. He says, yeah, Rob, they call way too many audibles, Brian. And that's, again, and so as you look at WWE, who has a few factions, again, not being a WWE apologist or defender, but when they bring a faction in, they at least stick to the guns, right? I mean, you can say that fucking Retribution is completely fucking garbage compared to what they pushed them as. Absolutely. Hurt Business is fucking, that's shit's banging. Hurt Business is is
you're
great.
praising them for Retribution being shitty, but for them sticking.
But they're sticking to their guns on it. At least they're not.
Yeah, they're having them lose every week.
They're not. Yeah, right. They might not be booking them right, but they are building a culture of a faction.
A losing faction.
Yeah, a losing faction.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're the Job Squad 2.0.
Yeah, and again, exactly, the Job Squad. There was a faction. It was a losing faction, but they stuck to the guns on it. They built that faction and made it a legit thing, right? You can say, oh, they fucking lose every week. But they're still carrying on the same story that they had. They're not like, 3 weeks into it, we're just going to have them all fight each other and it's over.
Yeah, Hurt Business is done right. Undisputed's done right. I guess the Make-A-Fucks are done right for now.
What's the Make-A-Fucks?
Pat McAfee's faction.
Oh, what? They're done right? What?
No, I don't. I actually agree with Adam. I think the McAfee faction is. It's specifically a War Games thing.
Yeah, but I mean, Pete Dunne returning. He's had beef with Undisputed since the beginning in War Games when he got fucked. You have what's his nuts? Birch and Lorcan finally being relevant and being tag champs because they got mouthpiece. Sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Daniel Price has TNA booked Team Canada right.
Oh, Team Canada was amazing.
Hell yeah.
And again,
A1.
if we want to refer back to TNA, which I think we can all agree had very successful elements in all these categories we're talking about. TNA booked, the main event Mafia and Beer Money and Team Canada. These are factions they created. They built them. They carried them through. They gave them depth to their character and to what their purpose was.
Yeah, Scott D'Amore, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Petey Williams. There's one other I'm forgetting.
A1.
Yeah, and you know what? You know the common thread of all these successful factions and successful faction building is that stars came out of them, right? Beer Money, Bobby Roode.
Well, and James Storm. They were both future heavyweight champs.
Yeah, you can look at you can go as far back as Attitude Era and look at The Nation, The Rock. Stars came out of factions. Michael P.S. Hayes came out of the Freebirds.
Same thing is going to happen with the Dark Order, bro.
John Silver.
It's going to be John Silver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the Hornswoggle of Dark Order is that's
no.
The big
What
push.
you guys need to watch?
AEW is going to introduce
also.
the trio belt soon. That's what's going to happen.
I shouldn't have to rely on BTE.
What do you mean rely on it? What are you talking about? Rely?
Because the story should be told on Monday nights.
No, it gives you. You're talking about depth and characters and all that, and some of the questions that you're asking can be answered if you were to watch BTE.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
And that's why they're going to stick at 800,000 viewers an episode forever. That's why they're not building, as Uncle Eric said, that's why they're not building their audience, because they're only catering the depth of their programming to people who are going to watch all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that is the 5 weaknesses of AEW, WWE must capitalize on. You can read the full article at Forbes.com and just Google in there 5 weaknesses of AEW, WWE must capitalize on. I think it was a great conversation. I think we had a great conversation on it. The great points in the for and in the counter on these topics. If you want to send an email, markedoutpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get involved and give your opinion on where we were wrong, we're right. Tell us to shut the fuck up. Whatever you want to do. Markedoutpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the DMs on Twitter @SmartMarkShow, and go to Facebook, facebook.com/markedout1, markedout1 on Facebook. And hey, again, keep the conversation going. We'll bring it back up if you give us some good points to talk about. If you don't, then fuck it. We'll move on.
iTunes.
Please do. All right. So, with that great conversation, now moving to our rear view mirror, we have a special edition of the Dirt Sheets tonight as our Wheel of Death continues. Adam with the Dirt Sheets.
All right, so some of these aren't worth much more than just a mention. So we may, since we're running long, I might scrap some. The first one I wanted to lead off with, WrestleJoy came up in the news. A lot of people upset about this. I want to read one person's comment. She said, and this is from Caro, one of the writers for WrestleJoy. She says the mission statement of WrestleJoy strives to bring positivity into the sphere of professional wrestling, something that's been missing for a long time. But I believe that there is such a thing as toxic positivity, ignoring all and every bit of needed criticism towards the injustices that are prevalent in the wrestling industry. Social justice issues aren't something that can be brushed aside for the sake of ignoring drama. They are not learning experiences that cannot be pushed away to continue projecting a veil of positivity. For many vulnerable and marginalized voices, myself included, this is our reality every single day. It needs to be discussed. It must be discussed.
Can you break that down for me in layman's?
Basically,
so what is this WrestlingJoy.com? Is this
Brian, do you know a little bit more about that?
WrestleJoy was just like a news and blogs kind of website. Relatively new. I think it started out earlier in the year.
So basically, she's saying their main focus is
they're
on
trying
the social
to be
issues
completely
of wrestling?
no, they're trying to be completely positive, so they're avoiding anything negative, which includes social issues. Is what I think was what I gathered
blind.
from it.
So they're just gonna be blind.
Correct.
Okay.
Or censor people that do bring it up because they're trying to stay positive in the name of that.
Oh well, that's all rainbows and fucking fairy tales, isn't it?
Yeah. So we'll move on. Let's go to the next one.
Everything's so perfect. Shut up. It's not. It's, I'm sorry. This is a world where we all have a voice now. In the 80s and the 90s, let me just break into this, and then I'll get off it. In the 80s and 90s, whatever, we didn't have social media. We didn't have the ability as a people to have our individual voices heard, our gripes, our complaints, which I don't give a fuck. I like to gripe and complain about things. Now we do. And as fans, fandom, as the ones who keep things going, as a TV show watcher, I watched The Walking Dead, as a fan, I can say, no, fuck that. That's not good. And I would like for you to change that because I'm a fan and I would like to see something better. I don't think criticism is a bad thing. I think you can go overboard with it. I think if you're JD from New York, you fucking go way overboard with it.
Yeah, but you can't be cognitively dissonant is the way Daniel Price put it, and I agree with that. The next one we got on the dirt sheet. I guess I got to do my own sound effects now here.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. Bang, bang. All right, so the next one, Andrew Yang, I haven't forgotten about Vince McMahon.
Dun, dun, dun.
While WWE talent may be too shy to publicly speak up, as we talked about with Zelina Vega and stuff like that, Yang said in an interview with Wrestling Inc. After the Joe Biden victory, it could put him in a position to help these performers get what's been owed to them for years. Obviously, as of last Saturday, this is a little bit dated, no, this is a couple days ago.
Okay.
But anyway, now that he's been elected, there is a chance that Biden could even appoint Yang to part of his cabinet, which would severely put a damper on everything Vince McMahon does. I believe it would tighten his butthole quicker than anything.
Oh, yeah. Has Biden announced anything as far as Yang goes?
No.
Robert?
So the overwhelming theme, or the most people think he's going to be somewhere in the Labor Department. I think Secretary of Labor is probably a high bar. I don't think he's going to get Secretary of Labor. He's going to put somebody in that's going to be more easily nominated through the Senate. Maybe his universal income, basic income, which I agree with, I think is going to be one thing that's not going to give him that high of a position. But with that said, he definitely could be an undersecretary or deputy secretary of labor that could deal with more specifically labor laws within that executive branch department. With that, and even if he's not appointed to a political appointment within the labor department, he definitely, being a surrogate for Joe Biden during the campaign, has earned some cred with him with the administration, and his voice will be heard by the administration, need be. So, yes, WWE should be fearful of Andrew Yang, whether he is appointed as the Secretary of Labor or not, whether he gets a position in the administration or not. They should be fearful that he has his eyes glued on Vince McMahon, which I'm telling you right now, I believe in my heart of hearts that the direction that they are going right now, knowing this is true, knowing that the eyes of him are, that the eyes are on them, is that they are going to sell to Disney while the selling is good, and they're going to get the fuck out. And that is my honest opinion.
All right.
Bang, bang.
So let's go on to the next one. Thank you for that, Rob.
You're welcome.
Real quick, Braun.
Bring the politics, baby.
The kayfabe suspension. He was set to face Drew supposedly at TLC. Now we know it's AJ there. Braun was written out with the suspension because of an injury. But I got to be honest, even before I knew that AJ was going to win, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, or AJ against Drew all sounds better than Braun. So we might have all dodged a bullet there.
Get these bad ratings.
Get these MAGA hats.
The next one I want to talk about, Brian. Cornette blasted AEW online. JR Khan and Cody fired back.
Really? I actually haven't even seen this one yet.
Oh, you don't know about this one yet?
No, not the Cornette
You didn't
one.
know?
Recent.
Oh, you better call somebody. So, let me see if I can find it. Basically, Jim Ross, let me find the right quote.
Oh, good news read.
I think there's been a lot of armchair quarterbacking about AEW, which I think is a little weird. If you're really a wrestling fan, why would you want anybody to go out of business or not do well? I know you're wearing the AEW jersey, but you still want Ring of Honor to do well and Impact to do well. It's better that everyone does well. They're commenting about why he keeps booking other talent and just basically saying that they're not there. But it is worth mentioning, Ross repeats, he isn't mad at Cornette, but he said Cornette doesn't know the AEW wrestlers like he does.
No.
All he's done is point out a lot of problems that we are all aware of that are not a discovery of, oh my God, I've never thought of it that way. He's not saying anything that's revolutionary. He said the obvious, and by God, he's right on a lot of things. So he's saying, like basically and I agree with Cornette. After you go a year, you can't use this "we're learning, we're still getting there, we're still getting our feet wet" kind of thing, because you have to be growing as you're learning. And if you're flatlined because you're not growing, unless you switch your nights around, then you're not getting where you need to go. I didn't read all of the fire back Cody and Tony said, but Cornette, this is what he does also. His podcast ratings, people are going to listen to see what he says. He's a shock jock right now at this point.
I wouldn't say shock jock, and a lot of the stuff that he says is he has like he's right a lot of the times. Like as far as like
even
wrestling,
JR said
goes.
he was right.
Oh, so that was JR saying, okay.
Yeah, I think the idea that criticism is wanting someone to fail is completely counterintuitive.
But that's where JR was critical of him. He said, why is Cornette sitting there out there wanting us to fail?
But I don't think Cornette is wanting them to fail. I think Cornette's wanting them to succeed. I think Cornette is wanting WWE to succeed. I think Cornette is wanting the industry, professional wrestling, which he clearly loves. You can't argue that. The Cornette doesn't love it. That he wants everyone to succeed. Like us, when we criticize AEW and WWE, Brian, we criticize because we want to see better than certain things that they're giving us, correct?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. We're critical because we love it and we want it to be good.
Right.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
You can say that about a lot of topics in our lives. We're critical about the response to COVID, not because we want it to get worse, because we want it to be fucking better, right? We want it to be better. We went through that list of fucking AEW stuff, Brian, that we think that WWE can capitalize on. Not because we want WWE to crush AEW. I don't want that. I want AEW to be fucking awesome. I want WWE to be fucking awesome. I want the things that I commit my time in my life to be awesome. So criticism should not be looked at as I want failure.
No, and I mean that's why I thought TNA was such a good thing for so long, is because we finally had another option. I didn't have my fake Monday Night Wars or whatever the hell it was when Vince split his roster in two, and I wasn't watching WCW to remember the old thing. So I'm just looking for a competitive outlet. I think that the two would make each other better if both did better, WWE and AEW. Maybe we would have a much bigger audience. We used to have a much bigger audience between the two, where they were both gangbuster ratings. Now you can total the two, and you won't equal one show back in the middle of the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
you won't. So
there's a lot of options now too, and other.
I did mention that, and teenage boys have porn.
I hate to go.
That's true.
I hate to go on a rant here.
Oh, don't stop now.
But enshrined in the Constitution is freedom of press, right? One of our and people get it confused a lot of time. People think, "Oh, the press is being mean to this person, or they're criticizing because they want it." No, the press is truth to power, and as wrestling now has a press built in with podcasts like ours and others, we're calling truth to power, right? These guys have the power to make the programming. We have the option to criticize that power to what we think should be better for all of us. So I when you say fake news, you say all that fucking bullshit taglines and criticism, and you hate them, you want them to fail. You're being a bitch, is what you're being.
So real quick, Daniel Price says we're living in an age where criticism is automatically construed as attacking. It's sad. And I commented back to him on the board. When you say something to somebody, you have a tone and inflection and whatever to you.
Yeah.
If you're in person, you can even have facial responses. But when you type something, that tone is gone,
right?
And it goes to the reader.
It's marriage.
The reader adds whatever narrative they want to add. They could be pissed off that day they read it and they think it's a negative thing. They could think it's sunshine and lollipops. Who knows?
So Kira sent me to the gas station or to the convenience store to get her something she needed, right? And I said, "Baby, do me a favor because I'm not familiar with this thing you need. Can you send me a picture of it?"
I do it all the time with my wife.
Yes, send me a picture of it so I can look at the shelf and I can grab it. And I got to the CVS and I told her before I left the house, I said, "Do it now. Stop fucking around with the kids. Do it now so when I get there, it's there and I can get it and be out." And when I got there, I'm in the aisle.
She forgot before you pulled out of the driveway.
I still haven't received the picture. So
no.
What I sent in text to her was, "OMG, what the fuck, Kiera?" My tone in saying that was, "Oh my God, what the fuck, Kiera?" Kind of playful-ish. But she read it as, "Oh my God, what the fuck, Kiera?" So yeah, there's definitely the context is lost in chat and emails and tweets and all that.
That's
fucking
why we
bullshit.
have to add LOL.
Yeah.
We can't just make a joke anymore.
No, the bottom line is everybody needs to stop being a fucking bitch. That's the whole fucking thing. Sorry,
Well,
go
yeah,
ahead.
that's true.
All right, and I got two more. One's fun and one's sad. Brian, where do you want to go first?
Let's do the sad one first.
All right. Jimmy Rave has been forced into retirement after having his left arm amputated just above the left elbow. His retirement thing was kind of sad. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he's having to walk away from the business here after 21 years. His message is kind of to everybody else to take care of this because this was something simple that he didn't treat, that he tried to go through. And it's costing his arm and his career here.
Yeah.
I think he'll still have a role in the business. I hope as a booker, as a backstage talent, as some type of work. But this is a little sad. But I was touched by the fact that Jimmy acknowledged this. This is a lot of it's on him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I hope you're right that he could stay in the business as far, if it's like a producer or something in any kind of aspect. But obviously I remember him. My biggest Jimmy Rave thing is when he was doing his thing with Lance Archer in TNA, doing the Rock and Rave Infection, where they had the fucking Guitar Hero guitars. That was some good stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, my heart goes out to you, Jimmy. I hope you find a way to continue in the business. He did mentor a lot of young guys as well, so maybe he can even be a trainer or coach. Outside of the business, I know we've done a lot of work with prosthetics, so hopefully we're good there. And then the final one, this is kind of a little bit of fun, maybe a weird segue. On 12/7 is the last day at Amway Thunderdome. They're going to move, of course, on 12/11 to Tropicana Field. Reports out of Tropicana Field are there's a giant nest of pigeons above, and it's causing a lot of sound issues. Because the pigeons are all over the place there.
Awesome.
And I don't think it'll be a problem because they pipe in their own sound anyway in the end. But they're currently having to remove a colony of pigeons that is nested in the roof.
All right, real quick.
That's the end of Dirt Sheets.
So I'm gonna push our Rushmore segment to next Monday. So next Monday we'll do our Rushmore segment because we're short on time. I do want to do a programming note though. Speaking of next week, programming note for everybody out there on the pod. If you're watching live, podcast.
This is important.
This is very important.
Write this shit down.
Write it down. If you're on a podcast, it really won't matter. But if you watch us live on the weekly. Programming note, we are going to start doing our Monday night shows at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. That's right. We're going to start our shows 1 hour earlier than we have for the last 4 years. And we can go through why, but just to let you know, 10:15 p.m. Eastern from now on Mondays. That's what it's going to be. We're short on time. Adam, the game, can you hit the sound effect for me that I just asked for?
Oh,
Because I was trying to say that my sounds aren't working. Can you play
oh,
that?
no. That's what you were trying to tell me.
I said trivia open.
See, it got lost in translation there.
Yeah, it did.
And now it's time for a little marked out trivia.
Alrighty. So we're gonna do like Rob said earlier before. We're gonna do some entrance music trivia. It's about 12 to 15 seconds each song. You're gonna hear 10 songs. There's a whistle in between, so that's gonna be your cue when the song changes. So get a pen and paper or a whiteboard or a tattoo gun and do it like Memento style.
Okay.
And we're gonna go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Golda wanted some more tattoos. I'll just do tattoo stuff.
All right, so
All right.
theme song trivia. You said
And
a song and then a whistle, a song and a whistle, a song and a whistle.
Correct. Yeah,
How
there's
many
10
am I writing down?
So
10 songs.
10
There's
songs.
10 songs total, and it's all over. So it's WWE,
okay. Everybody ready?
AEW.
All right, here we go. And 3, 2, go.
Had to close my door.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to do so bad at this. Me too.
Nothing beats being cool. Got power like the bear, but quick like the cat. Put 2 and 2 together, throw your face on the mat. You count the stars while the ref counts 3. Hope you like the look of ceilings, cause that's all you're gonna see.
I'm
that's
gonna
all
do
of them.
so bad. I don't think I got one.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, man.
yeah. I mean, I'm guessing. I'm guessing on all these.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got a lot of guesses
I mean,
myself.
they're not like far out there. They're not like totally obscure.
Okay.
Okay. Paragon says, dude, what the fuck, Brian?
Yeah. These are
What?
bunch of Muzak shit. All right.
Oh, I'm
No,
looking at
no.
some of the answers on the board. I think I recognize some of them.
Do you want to go through it? Or do you want to listen
Let's
again?
do
Do
it.
you want to go
No,
through it?
No, let's just do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
go, just go. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to help us
For
any
one.
better.
Well, actually, I'll ask you guys. What did you have, Rob?
Storm. for one.
Storm.
Like from the X-Men?
Yeah. No.
Adam.
I wrote down the Ascension. I had no idea.
No, that was Nia Jax, bro.
Was it Naya?
That was Nia. It just wasn't the part that you're familiar with.
It was like the very end.
No, it was the what is that? The bridge? Is that what it's called?
Is it the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the Muzak part.
That was number one.
It did sound like
Number
a bunch of Muzak shit.
Oh, I think I do have one right.
Okay.
Number 2.
Landstorm
Adam.
is what I was going for there.
Number 2, I wrote Archer.
That is incorrect, Robert.
I put Perry Saturn.
No.
DP wrote wrong. Eugene.
No, number 2 was actually
Oh, no, he missed
Abaddon.
Abaddon.
Oh wait, no,
Abaddon.
they're saying
the
Eugene was
one
number 3.
The one time she was on TV, that definitely stuck with me. Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, she was on last week, right? Or she's also on Dynamite.
Was
I
she
mean,
on-
on Dark.
Oh, she's on Dark. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, she was on Dark. My bad.
Well, all right, fine.
Okay.
Number 3, Adam. What'd you get?
I wrote QT Marshall.
What?
But yeah, I think the board is right.
I put Dan Severn.
No, that is not Dan Severn. No.
Okay.
The band,
That
the
that was
board wrote
Eugene.
Eugene. Yeah.
That was Eugene. That is
Okay.
correct.
All
Yes.
right.
All right. Number 4, Adam.
Kenny Omega.
Oh no.
Kurt Angle.
Robert.
Yeah, the board wrote TNA.
Yeah, that's
Kurt.
right.
What?
Yeah. It is Kurt Angle. That was his TNA theme. Is that what you said? Did you say Kurt Angle?
I did say
Yeah,
Kurt
he
Angle.
stole it from the board.
My board's closed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, DP wrote Kurt Angle from TNA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was number 4. Very good, Rob. Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Number 5. What'd you get, Adam?
This is the one I know I got right. Carlito.
That is correct. That is correct.
Carlito
Rob?
cool.
I might be beyond. I had Carlito for the next one. I got Alberto Del Rio for. So I know my next one's wrong.
Yeah.
I had Carlito
5,
for the next
5 is Carlito.
Sweet.
So then what'd you have for 6?
I wrote hybrid.
Hybrid what? Oh, Hybrid 2?
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. Rob?
Rob wrote Carlito.
I wrote Carlito.
Oh, you wrote Carlito? No, number 6 is Nation of Domination.
Oh,
I
The
had
guy that was rapping?
Oh, you know what? I got him out of order. Okay. So
Oh,
I had
yeah?
Carlito on the Carlito line, and I had Nation too.
Okay.
I did have Nation. I knew Nation.
Oh, okay.
So I've got my shit out of order.
Recount votes. Pay $3 million.
Okay, so I got Nation, and I got Carlito, and I got Angle. I got those right.
All right. Number 7. What'd you get, Rob?
I got 7.
You got nothing. 7? No, it wasn't 7. It wasn't 7.
Yeah.
Adam?
I wrote Taz, but I think the board's right. They said
No.
Christian.
Yeah, it was Christian. Christian.
Oh, again, I'm out of order again. I had Christian. No,
See,
look, right
now
there,
I
you
think
see
you're
it, look,
bullshitting
Christian, right there.
Okay, how are you having? Okay, you were just out of order. Now you're back out of order.
I don't know why my shit's out of order, but I had Christian.
I'm calling bullshit.
That's Christian. I knew that one.
Christian.
Yeah, no, I had that.
You're
So I've got 4. Fuck it, I'm just out of order.
All right, number 8.
I don't know the rest
I'm
of
going to
them,
bet
though.
all of my money that you guys don't get number 8.
Wait. Can we just say that, by the way, I had Rob cut Christian's theme to make it my old
That's why I
theme
knew it.
on SmackDown, and I didn't even get that one right.
Right.
Number 8, Rob.
Sandman.
Oh, my God. No. Adam.
SCU?
No, SCU. No. Bro, that was Retribution's music.
Oh, how the
wow.
fuck would I know that?
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
pretty
number
bad.
9, Rob. What'd you get? Anything?
Number yeah, man. Number 9, I have Best Friends.
No. That's incorrect.
Okay.
Adam.
I thought it felt very much like the Shattered Dreams thing, so I wrote Goldust.
No, that's incorrect. No, it was actually Main Event Mafia. There were a lot of Main Event Mafia mentions tonight. So.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one, Rob, throw it out there. What'd you get?
Sandman. Again.
Oh, God.
I wrote Cody, so I'm not much better.
No, that was Perry Saturn.
Oh, I had Saturn up on top.
It was out of order.
I
It
had
was out of
Saturn
order.
as-
He wrote
I had
Saturn
Saturn
on
as
the
number
first
1. So
yeah, he wrote him out of order.
1 meant 9.
So
we
Robert,
failed.
I think I'm sorry. I think Rob won, but all your answers were out of order, so I think
definitely
technically
won.
Adam won.
Yes, I won because I didn't cheat. He put the wrong Scantron there. Either way,
You get nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir. Good game, Brian. Good game.
Yeah.
Adam has a game next week, and I had the week after. I got a good concept for mine.
yeah, I'll bring the game. Rob, you're on dirt sheets. You debut with dirt sheets next week.
I got dirt sheets next
Brian
week?
gets the week off according to the chore
Ooh,
wheel.
what if we do something where, what was that old game show where like the thing was all squiggly, it was all like pixelated, and then you have to figure out what the picture is? I guess it's not really good for a podcast.
Yeah, no, I was gonna do some video stuff, but it wouldn't work for the podcast. So yeah.
For YouTube, it would though.
Wrestling podcast.
Oh, all right.
Whoops.
All right. So, conspiracy. All right, we're very late. We ran very late. Thank you so much for those who hung out with us live. We ran so late. I do apologize. For those on the podcast, thanks for hanging out for this extended podcast. Remember, next week we start at 10:15 p.m. is the start of our Monday night podcast, Mondays with the Marks.
Roadhouse.
Wednesday night. Wednesday nights. Wednesday night, we're going to be back here on YouTube Live and with the podcast Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, whenever it happens, with our next episode of Who Won Wednesday, where we compare AEW and AEW and NXT, which I think we have a go home show. We have a go home show for War Games, right? Wednesday night? Yes. Okay.
Oh no!
I'm
shit.
very, very
That's
excited for War Games. And Phil, we're still going to cover both shows.
Fucking Phil, man.
We're not just
fucking
going to
Phil.
cover one.
Fucking Phil. So don't forget to go to, go down below our video on YouTube. You can see all the different ways you can, contribute to the podcast, whether it's Streamlabs, Tip Jar, Venmo, Cash App. Those options are down there too. If you want to join us on Patreon, patreon.com/MOWP. You get all of our content that we don't put on here on the YouTube channel. We want to thank William Hung, James Vanderbeeks, and Big Haas for the shout-outs for our 600 episode celebration that we're going to continue for as long as we can goddamn continue it, because we got nothing else to do.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
He's taking my shit, man.
No, don't like that.
You couldn't put them in throughout the show. You're just going to get them all in right now.
Roadhouse.
Oh, man. All right. I got to work in the morning.
It's funny because it's true.
Yes. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Call your grandma. Get vaccinated when it comes out. I do want to say this final thought from me before I get. Somebody said the other day, I'm not going to be a guinea pig for the vaccine. Motherfuckers, it goes through trials. There's already been guinea pigs. Do your research. It's a different kind of vaccine. It's kind of fucking cool, actually. Do your research. Get the goddamn vaccine.
But we don't know any long-term effects. There's a point to that.
Dude, you shut your Jenny McCarthy ass up. No. Imagine if people were like, oh, you know what? I don't know about this smallpox vaccine. Motherfuckers, we eradicated it with a vaccine. No,
every drug out there says side effects include
shut your mouth.
Heart attack.
Don't you fucking dare start an anti-vaxxer thing on here. Don't you fucking dare.
Yeah.
Get the fucking vaccine. Quit being a fucking pussy. All right. Mark out like no one's watching.
Boom. Roasted.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast
Catch
is
you on the
produced and edited by You Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.